Let's make some spring rolls. We're going to start out with a little bit of diced, very finely diced onion, and we'll add in garlic and ginger also. I'm just going to slowly sweat it, and we're going to make the filling with pulled pork hock. It's actually a smoked pork hock, so it's a little bit unique, but pork hock's extremely inexpensive, and I've shown in other videos how to uh, turn it into a very exquisite, tender meal. Here's the pork hock now. I'm going to incorporate that into the ginger and the garlic and the onion. Just fold it gently. The heat is at probably 40% of full. It's perfect for this type of work. And the filling we're going to make will be the bulk of the actual dish. And what I mean by that is I'm not making a whole lot of spring rolls using a whole lot of spring roll shells, spring roll wrappers. I'm making a lot of filling and making a few spring rolls with a few wrappers because frankly wrappers are the most expensive thing in the dish. Just added in bamboo. It's canned bamboo product. It's pretty good. A little bit of sesame oil. The canned bamboo product could easily be omitted. You could use carrot julienne, it would be more inexpensive. Here's a little bit of soy. It's actually an organic soy, but relatively inexpensive, and it doesn't need to be overused. Just a bit of seasoning. White pepper is going to go very nicely with the bean sprouts, the bamboo shoots, and the pork. Seasoned with a tiny bit of sea salt. And as I was mentioning with the spring roll wrappers, they're the most expensive ingredient. You know, they're produced in a factory. You could make them yourself, and I would highly recommend you to do so, but it is a lot more of a big deal. Just added in rice wine vinegar, learning how to roll them properly and all the rest of it, learning how to make the dough. This mixture is a tiny bit of rice flour and water. Basically stir it right up before you add it. You don't want it to be lumpy, and you actually want to drop the heat right down on your burner to pretty much nothing. And then once it's in and once you've stirred it in, you can turn the heat on again, but you don't want to have any really fast simmering when you add a starch like that in, or it just becomes a clumpy mess. I'm cooling this down in the fridge, and here we have it. As I mentioned, we're using a lot of filling and not that much wrapper. So they're not going to be round like you'd find them in the Chinese restaurant, but those probably come out of a bag in the freezer anyway. So, this is a much better product. A little different shape, a little rectangular shape, but it's going to fry quite nicely. And the flavor and the nutrition is all in the filling anyway. And to be perfectly honest, you roll a dozen of these things, and by the time you get to a dozen, you're more than happy to be done. So I'd highly recommend you learn how to make them nice and full, so that you don't have to make as many, but everybody fills their stomach and feels satisfied. Here they are. Here's our oil. Be very careful when you put it in. As I'm putting this one in, it's probably slightly under temperature, and observe the bubbles, like basically observe the speed at which the oil rolls. You don't want it to be rolling slowly. You want it to be fairly aggressive without bubbling too much. This here is the maximum that you would want to have it bubbling. It's sort of an indication of temperature. What we're going for is 340, 330. That's going to give us a nice golden color, and also cook the inside, the filling, heat it up. Placing it on newspaper, it's thriftier than using paper towel. And we have a beautiful golden shell, very tasty filling, and here we have it. Serve it with a little julienne salad. It's a lovely, thrifty meal.